What's up, Toronto drivers and cyclists? So the first freaking Psycho Cyclists video that I made was about it was like places where I was trying to find places where there would be actual psycho cycling going on, like where cyclists are kind of where there's going to be a lot of cyclists. So like near bike lane, where bike lanes intersect with dangerous kind of anti-cycling streets. So I was like looking for, I'm like, okay, if we're going to find psycho cyclists, it's going to be here where there's lots of cyclists and where they don't really have any safe way to be there. So for this video, I decided, because this is kind of me versus, cyclists versus Councillor Mammoliti and his ridiculous, outlandish claims about cyclist behavior. I want to give people a reference point for actual cyclist behavior. So his whole thing was like, we can't give cyclists safe infrastructure because then they will use it to do dangerous and sketchy things. So I went to the corner of Shaw and Bloor along the site, which in the segment of Bloor that has bike lanes. So these are two roads that have bike lanes that cross. I'm gonna probably do the same thing at like Sherburne and Wellesley or whatever. But so here, I was looking for psycho cyclists emboldened by cycling infrastructure. Okay, that cyclist wasn't a psycho cyclist. Maybe they were psycho for going straight through with their right of way when there was a driver who was obviously trying to turn, like how dare they? But that's it's like perfectly fine. And as you can see, the driver. Oh, nice. Okay, there's a psycho cyclist because they're on a skateboard. Looks like both the cyclist and the skateboarder waited for the green light, which, apparently that's totally crazy because cyclists, will violate the red lights. So check it out. We got a psycho driver here though. I forget when the hell did this guy show up. Well, he was like, this guy was parked there forever, and I think there's a cyclist right there behind him trying to figure out what to do because there's other cars going by. Yeah, and then so the cyclist gives up and uses the sidewalk. So there you go. You got your first psycho cyclist. He used the sidewalk instead of going into vehicle traffic. Oh, hang on. Did this cyclist break the law? This next one? Okay, here we go. That was a legal left-hand turn. Oh, he entered in that spot, which is actually not illegal, as long as there's nobody coming along at the time. So, let's see, so far we got one psycho driver and one psycho cyclist. This driver now, he's getting hassled by this other driver here, who came up and started honking at him. Which, of course, the thing about Toronto drivers and cyclists is when it's really about the location. When you have a spot that gives everybody an actual clear way to get through, and kind of denies people the opportunity to compete with each other in sketchy ways, then suddenly the psycho behavior kind of disappears, and then whenever somebody does totally screw up like this guy, it really stands out, and then everybody else is kind of like, what the hell are you doing? So this not police vehicle but security vehicle or whatever ended up honking at him behind and just bailed out. So there you go. That's some ultra dangerous sidewalk cycling by the cyclist that had to go around him. Not dangerous at all. Let's see what this person's all about. I think oh, check it out. We got an actual psycho cyclist, a real psycho cyclist who is using the sidewalk when there's clearly a bike lane, which is a little hard to get to because Bloor is still kind of hard to cross right here. And of course it's not like they were going fast enough to be dangerous on the sidewalk. It's not like they were freaking doing anything dangerous, but, you know, they're technically a psycho, kind of. We got two sidewalk cyclists so far in this video, neither of whom did anything dangerous. We got a nice little left turn there. Two great little left turns. Although, wait a minute, do they have the right of way? I don't think that does. Oh yeah, they did. It was still barely. Yeah, that person entered on like the yellow. So what? Oh, this person totally screwed. Okay, we got an actual psycho cyclist here who kind of entered the intersection like just before it went red, and didn't cause any danger. God, look at just like beautiful driving behavior. Guys yielding to oncoming through traffic. The through traffic isn't, you know, those cyclists, like, they didn't do a big pause and waste a bunch of the driver's time by like second guessing what was going on, because the driver made it clear they were yielding and therefore didn't have to yield for very long. It's like when drivers like, oh yo, here, no, that was him. Again, he just kind of like anticipated the green but didn't really violate it, the red, so whatever. And look at that, we got more non-psycho behavior by both the drivers and the cyclists. I mean, this isn't a hugely ultra busy time, but this is like the kind of entertainment / dinner rush hour downtown. I mean, there's no real non-rush hour, but it's still you know, a fairly busy time downtown. And you know, we're supposed to believe that the Bloor bike lanes have caused all sorts of congestion, and I'm still looking for that congestion. Like, when I use Bloor, I still don't see the congestion. It's still not really there. And it's so much just easier to be there. This guy, like, jumped the gun slightly. He's, like, almost kind of, not quite, but almost a little bit psycho. So we still got no actual real psycho behavior, except maybe me standing around filming people, filming the public. I'm pretty psycho, I guess. Councillor Mammoliti really brings out the sarcasm in me. Is this the same damn video? I don't want to look at the same video. Yeah, this is the same freaking... Okay, hang on. I had two videos here. So I guess I'm looking for that one. Let's see what happens in this one. That wasn't a psycho cyclist, that guy was just turning left. Check it out. This cyclist right here has every opportunity to bounce on that red light, violate the hell out of it, and save some time, and somehow they're not. Oh, and they totally had a chance to mess with that, but they didn't. Like, why? It's a cyclist, you know? They should be, like, violating all the rules and going along. And then this guy, like, look at that. They actually timed it so that this person timed it. Check it out. Slowing down right there and then timing it so that they were going to be, like, safely behind that pedestrian. I mean, that's crazy. That's, like, so considerate and normal. How could cyclists be doing this? Like, it boggles the mind, you know? Like, we're supposed to be so nasty and crazy, especially where there's proper infrastructure. Look at me, come on. You can't say that's not a cool look for the summertime. I got my vape going. Yeah, I love that hat too. All right, we got this cyclist right here who's waiting for the light to change. Like, Could have gone right now, could have gone, you know, a half a dozen times during this lighting sequence, but oh, check it out. Freaking an actual psycho cyclist who's totally running that red light. I mean, again, in complete safety and without violating anyone's right of way, and it seems like they wouldn't have done it if they were gonna be, but still, that's technically a violation. And we got another one. We got two safe, careful red light runners, but still running the red light. So we got two, maybe three. I think we did like a total of three or something in these two videos out of like a pretty healthily large bunch of cyclists. I'm just not seeing that much psycho behavior here, though. I mean, that's just going through straight. This person's going to go through straight on the green. I guess this is where the lane starts. Does it start over? I forget where it starts. Like, starts right there and ends right there as well. But whatever. Again, look, we got cyclists waiting here for the light to change, and they're not even going until it changes green. It just doesn't make any logical sense. I mean, there's bike lanes, there's cyclists, but the few cyclists that have violated the signals haven't even done it dangerously or like at high speed. It really does boggle the mind, you know. You'd think, or I mean, at least, you know, completely hostile weirdos like Councillor Mammoliti, who, you know, also he said like bike lanes make cyclists turn into psychos, and he also said that Parkdale is a pedophile district, which is, I mean, I don't know how I could make a video to figure out whether Parkdale is a pedophile district, but like, it was over like having age restrictions at concerts that are near Parkdale or something like that. And I don't know, he's pretty famous for making just ridiculous, outlandish statements. But, you know, it's kind of a popular sentiment among, like, basically drivers who are hostile to, oh my god, oh god, look, it's a psycho driver who's totally running that red light, again, at low speed and without really endangering anyone. But, oh, check it out, okay, we got, I don't think that person is actually, they're basically just making a U-ey on a red using the crosswalk. So they're crosswalk cycling. So that's a total psycho cyclist who's crosswalk cycling after yielding to pedestrians and without violating anyone's right of way. Oh, check it out. We got a psycho motorcyclist who's using the bike lanes. I noticed some of our motorcyclists in Toronto are getting a lot of use out of the bike lanes. Here we got one of them. I suck. But again, I'm not witnessing any danger. This is what I'm looking at. Like, actual psycho behavior is like dangerous behavior. Like the dude who was parked in the bike lane, that's like somewhat dangerous. Oh, here he is. This is where the guy actually shows up in the bike lane. And he does it like right in front of a cyclist too, I think. No, does it, and then like a cyclist shows up. But I think he was just like pulling over to text or something, because he just like stayed there for a while, or figure out where the heck they were or something. I don't know. But so there we go. There's, you know, found 3 officially psycho cyclists and 2 officially psycho drivers out of a whole bunch of commuters. Didn't find anybody doing anything actually dangerous, because like I say, like, you know, Toronto drivers, there's this like large minority of cyclist hating, pedestrian hating, other driver hating, loser psycho drivers, you know, bully drivers who are basically emboldened by like some of our roads, and then they're sort of civilized by, you know, by other roads. And I think this video kind of demonstrates that it really depends more on the road and the place and how it's designed than this, like, people's skill or whatever. Like, Toronto drivers are pretty skilled. The rate of cluelessness is pretty low. And it's the same thing with the cyclists. And given infrastructure that doesn't sabotage your awareness and stuff of things around you, and given infrastructure that doesn't like pit you against other road users, people are pretty damn well behaved. And I like that. Anyway. So yeah, another ultra boring video about the not so psycho Toronto cyclists. Yay.